Scot and I are doing the Evansville Historic Volks March. Right now we're planning on the 10K, but it is pretty cold and forecasting rain, so we may cut it short depending on how things go. We just got started at the Bally's Casino, which on the direction says the Tropicana, but it looks like there's been an ownership change since then. Right now we're going to get started on this walking path, although we'd really rather be over there on that side of the wall where it's a lot prettier. Hopefully we end up there soon. Alright, the Ohio River port here in Evansville is now home to the USS LST-325. It was a World War II vessel that was at Omaha Beach on D-Day. Maybe we'll catch a tour later. Here we have a good reminder that the Ohio River is a working river. We've got, I don't know, gravel or something here, as well as all the operations to get that loaded in the barges that we saw on the other side, and then they're off for their transport through our nation. Hello, bunny. We just got a little way away from the main street, and look who we found. We love wildlife, even in an urban setting. Throughout the path there are these fun historic markers that talk about the people and the places of this area. Unfortunately, some of the places have been demolished, so we won't be showing you those, but we'll show you some of the ones that still exist. This fun piece of urban art memorializes the transportation of the region throughout the years. We haven't been up close and personal with a lot of water yet, but here's some water. Hopefully we'll see more later. This is a cool old factory, and it's a good symbol of the history of this area from the mid-1800s to the mid-1900s. Evansville was a major furniture making area. Water levels look super low here right now, but I guess if they rose much, they'd be right here on the path with me. That wouldn't be any fun. We get to walk across this fun little bridge. I feel a little bit better now that I read a sign that this is Pigeon Creek, not the Ohio River. I was a little concerned about our water system if this was the full-on river. We have a train and wildlife. Fun combination. This area here has had many different purposes in the past, including a health resort, and before that, salt and mineral mines. Here we have a bird's eye view of Pigeon Creek as we cross over the Maryland Street Bridge. This is called the Wabash Avenue of Flags, and it's kind of fun because there are American flags extending all down the street. This pretty Catholic church is called St. Boniface, and it was originally constructed in 1881 by German craftsmen, but unfortunately burnt down and had to be reconstructed in 1903. We are now on Franklin Avenue. This was the main street of Lamarsko, a town which was founded in 1839. It later became part of Evansville in, I believe, 1857. It's still got a lot of historic character down here, and we may stop for a treat in one of the shops. This building, which was built in 1890, has housed warehouses, manufacturing, retail, and now it is a brew house, which I don't think it necessarily makes its own beer, but it serves locally made beers. And it's just another example of the German heritage of this area. There's a lot of German words I see on signs. Alright, we walked down the street for 1.1 miles with literally nothing to report. But now we are at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church, which was founded in 1855 by German immigrants. Notice the theme? It is a very, very German place here. This is the Willard Public Library. It was the first public library to open in Indiana in 1885, and it is best known for its extension collections of genealogy, the archives, and the Gray Lady, the ghost of this library. This home was built in 1849 and has held up pretty good over the years. Pretty nice. So we stopped in the Bally's Casino to use restrooms and grab a little bit of lunch. We got food at the deli. It was actually so fast getting our grilled cheese sandwich made, and I was super excited that they have Donut Bank, which is like the classic Southern Indiana donut shop, apple fritters. So we enjoyed one of those, and I'm caffeined up to enjoy the rest of the Volks March. All right, this is the old courthouse. It was built between 1888 and 1891 of Indiana limestone. It's pretty fancy, and today it contains offices. It's no longer a functioning courthouse. Right across from the old courthouse is the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. It was built in 1916 and remembrance of all who fought in the Civil and Spanish-American Wars. It's not officially part of the Volks March, but right across from the courthouse is the sheriff's residence and jail that was constructed, I believe, in 1890. There are, like, again, historic markers throughout downtown, but there's also a lot of really cool old buildings that don't have any markers at all, so I have no idea when they were built or what they're for. All right, you can tell we've definitely reached downtown. We've got the federal building. Just beyond it is the main post office here, and more law enforcement government buildings here. I'm gonna keep spanning around because right here we have the Ford Center, home to all kinds of events and sports, and a Desert Storm Memorial. All right, here we have the Victory Theater. It was built in 1921 and at that time cost over $1 million. That's a whole lot of money in 1921 dollars. This is a pretty cute little Evansville River City archway. This segment of the Volks March is taking us through an old residential area. The home we're looking at currently was built in 1859. And it's surrounded by other older homes. The one next to it here was built in 1855. St. Paul's Episcopal Church was built here in 1886, and I just have to move my screen up to get this entire bell tower, which is 124 feet tall. There's so many historic homes here. We're skipping past many of them, but this one is pretty lovely. It was built in 1880. Getting some face work done, it looks like, and I wanted to also mention the streets here. They're like actually bricked streets, which you don't often see these days, even in historic areas. All right, this building was built in 1839. It's a double home, and it's the oldest remaining building in downtown Evansville. All right, here we have another double. It was built in 1883 for two sisters and their families. This one, which was built in 1849, looks to be in amazing condition. At 200 years old, I'm very impressed. Well, not quite 200, but like 175. Still pretty good. All right, this pretty one was built in 1867. I really like this one, which was built in 1860. So pretty. All right, the last of the historic homes in this district before we get back to the rest of the Volks March. This one was built in 1917. All right, we're back on the Greenway, and in the distance you can just clearly see the river over between the swings and the other path. And right in front of us, you can see the elevation of the 1937 flood. Kind of fun. All right, we're enjoying one of the swings. It's kind of nice up here. We do have views of the river out here. And I would like to clarify that the true 1937 flood was not fun, but to enjoy after 2 months. Ohio River should be called Muddy One. It's even more muddy than the Mississippi. This bicentennial memorial is pretty cool. The 4 pillars stand for really 4 pillars of our nation: freedom from oppression, freedom from fear, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion. And around here we have little seals of each state, and on the opposite side it shows the year that they were entered into our nation. Right there we're looking at our 13 colonies that became our first state. All right, we are about back to our starting place. What was your favorite part of this Volks March?
Probably for me, I think it's just the old historic buildings and reading about how life here in the early 20th century was, and all the churches. There's so many beautiful old churches here, and being in the Midwest, it's just what America is all about.
Yeah, definitely. I liked the old homes, getting to see what those looked like over the different, I guess, decades. And historic Main Street was pretty neat. And then, you know, anytime we can be by water, we always love that.
Definitely.
I will say this is probably not the most beautiful Volks March we've ever done, but it was still really interesting with a ton of great history. And if you can make it out here, I hope you enjoy. Bye.